and T1, he's very, what he sometimes finds is stiffness in the upper thorax and mobility in the cervical spine. In reality, when you're looking at posture from the side, then if your patients commonly have a forward sort of posture, the head is forward, an anterior sort of translation, then think about what happens. The base of the skull compresses down. When you look at the neck, you might say that the neck looks like it's lordosed. But if you actually look at an X-ray, then the X-ray shows that the cervical spine is actually flat. It's flexed. So when you have, John's age, 20s, the chances of having a flat degenerative spine is quite rare. In his, let's say, 50s, 60s, it'll be a different story. So, but then you don't want to progress to a degenerative neck, you know what I mean? So if you've got a neck like that, and you are a bit lordotic to start with, think about where the facets are going to be compressed, C4, 5 and 6, commonly, yeah? The upper part of the neck is stuck, the lower part is trying, so now you wouldn't like it, but then turning the neck, you can try it yourself, you just put your head forward and turn. It's horrible, isn't it? Yeah, but people aren't like that. The sternomastoid pulls you forward, the scalenes hold you, the subocciput is really tight, the levator is different. Okay, levator is actually on stretch because it's holding you in that position. Okay, so it's actually lengthened, that's why you get pain in the top of the shoulders again. Trapezius might shorten up. Yeah, so it's holding that position. So if I come in and find your neck and crack, it's not the answer. It's not the answer. The cause is sitting in front of the PC all day, every day. Yeah, every day for 10 years before you know it. It's a cause and an effect as a result of all that. So just relax there. Okay, C7 and T1, if you know anything about that level, the old name is CD, okay? When I say CD, dorsal is the old name for the thorax. So cervical dorsal junction is the old name for the spine. But it's still, and I prefer to say CD junction than CT junction. Yeah, I mean, it's still known as CD junction, but we don't use the word dorsal spine anymore, we say thoracic spine. So in that sort of area, the cervical spine, the nerve that exits is above. In the lumbar spine and thorax, the nerve that exits is below. What that means is, you've got C5 and C6, so the nerve of C6 is above C6. If you've got L4, L5, the nerve of L4 is below L4. Mainly because it changes at C7. Because C7 and T1, the nerve exit is known as C8 nerve. Because there's 8 cervical nerves and 7 cervical vertebrae. So the nerve that exits is C8. So C8 and T1 together, the two nerves that come out, conjoined to be known as the ulnar nerve. So if your patient has, say, if my patient said, I've got tingling to my little finger, yeah, and then if you know anything about neural pathways, you might say it could be an ulnar nerve palsy of some sort. It might be coming from this area in the hand, there's a tunnel in the wrist that could be causing it. What tunnel is that? Cubital tunnel is in the elbow. Yeah, everybody says a carpal tunnel, that's why I don't say tunnel. Yeah, no, it says it's carpal tunnel. Okay, so pisiform, hamate, and then you've got scaphoid, tubercle and trapezium. Those 4 bones in the wrist are the palpable bones. Between those 4 bones is the carpal tunnel. The median nerve comes down, okay, from C5, C6, C7, C8, but T1, comes down and innervates the femur eminence, the thumb, the index, the middle and half of the ring finger. The ulnar nerve is different because it goes through the tunnel of Guillain in the hand. Remember that? Yeah? So, right hand, pisiform, hamate, hook of hamate. Between them there's a space. That space is known as the tunnel of Guillain. Yeah? Above it will be the roof, and that roof will be the pisohamate ligament, which is the insertion of the flexor carpi ulnaris, which continues as a ligament. Alright, so it comes through. So that's the roof. So the ligament forms the roof, and then the tunnel forms the curve, if you like, around. So the ulnar nerve wraps around the curve as it goes into the little finger. So if the wrist is in extension and ulnar deviation, like a cyclist, palsy, then that nerve gets stretched through the tunnel of Guillain syndrome. So it could be coming from a little finger. Cyclist might be coming from a hand. Maybe not, because the neck position is still forward. So you've got to be thinking elbow. Yeah, but then you think, well, where does the nerve originate from? It comes from C7, T1, which is the C8 nerve and T1 nerve. Okay, so C8, T1. So maybe start there. Typically, if you've got tingling to both fingers, you need to start central. If it's tingling in one hand, maybe think about that one area, the thoracic outlet, the pec minor, the scalena syndromes and all those extra bits, the thoracic outlets. But maybe start at the neck and work down rather than start at the hand and work up. So, what we're going to do then, is manipulate C7 and T1. Also, when your patients turn left and turn right, my fingers, the T-spine should move. He's a bit stiff in this bit. So he moves in his neck, because I said to you this guy is pretty mobile. Yeah, but he doesn't move very well in this part in here. So we can maybe do a technique. I'm hoping that it'll go for the demo. If not, I'll use someone of you. Okay, keep your t-shirt on for this one. And the reason why is because the arms are going to come under the armpits. Alright, so you don't really want, you know, horrible sweat on your arms and stuff. Even though physios most of us would sweat, do they? Yeah, we glow. We glow. Yeah?
Sometimes I felt this.
Well, that was ladies that did that.
What did I say? Yeah? Anyway. Watch the way I do this. People, when they do the technique, you lock your fingers behind your neck. This is a way I don't like. They put their hands through, they mess around, arms through, getting into that sort of position. And it's a lot of like messing. Just watch the way I do it. I'm not saying my way is the right way, just my way just works for me, and you have a choice. So fingers onto his forearms. And then what I'm going to say to him, interlock your fingers behind your neck. So you're already there. Alright, so you're already there. Watch again. So arms down. So from there, hands on his forearm, so I'm guiding him. I just say to him, fingers interlock at the back of your neck. Right, I'm going to keep your elbows in, so I don't irritate the shoulder. You don't need a pillow this time, or towel, I mean. Yeah, you don't need that sort of area. So what we can do now, again, I'm going to pivot on my back leg. So I do think if you've got like a bit of a chest, you know, from a male perspective, coming up to an area, it might help you a little bit. So if you just watch this, I'm not going to manipulate yet. I'm going to keep his elbows in. I'm going to roll him back towards me, okay? As I feel it, already there's a bit of tension there. Not enough tension to manipulate. So from there, I'm going to rock him back now and just keep adding in the tension. So lock him in. When I feel he's locked into a point there, the technique is going to be almost like a lift. That way, okay? And that's what I was going to be doing. I'm going to use a bit more pressure in a sec, because that was a little tester one to see if it gapped, it didn't.
Something gapped below down there.
Yeah. C7, T1, maybe a bit of T2. You can sort of like angle the manipulation in that sort of area. You know, you can add in a bit more flexion if you want to, a little bit more extension. So C7, T1 is the area, but don't worry if you get a T2 to go. It's okay in that area, because otherwise it's quite hard to go. So let me just go through it, and let's see if I can just gap it. I'm not convinced though. Yeah, fingers behind your neck, elbows forward. Okay. So again, pivot on the back leg. So I'm going to lock him in. So I'm going to roll him, lock him, and I'm going to thrust at the end. Okay? Just go with lock. There we go. So a little click. Okay, but it wasn't, I don't think it was substantial. I didn't think he needed to go. I think he does it himself anyway. He does this little technique where he cracks his neck. It's a bit annoying. Yeah, because he keeps doing it all the time and I say, don't do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
Leave that. And that's as far as I can go. That way.
Yeah, okay. So you felt like I didn't
Yeah.
quite do it.
You did, and then
Yeah. But you did something the other day.
well,
Yeah,
that's-
so he's quite mobile in his neck, so manipulate his neck a bit of a nightmare. But C7, T1, yeah, in that sort of area. You can do it standing, and I'm going to let you have a go first, but I'm going to do a demonstration on standing. Yeah. You know, if they're 6 foot 5 and you're 5 foot 5, it's a bit of a nightmare. If you're around the same height, or if he's a bit lower or she's a bit lower, it's quite easy to do that. Yeah, if you're all very tall to start with, you can probably manipulate most people. If you're short to start with, you can only manipulate the shortest rather than the longies. Do you want to, so let me just recap again. Yeah. So it's easy to demonstrate on joint because you can all see. Yeah. So fingers behind the neck. Yeah. So arms and forearm. Elbows. Get them. Keep them in. All right. You know, if you've got a history of dislocation of the shoulders, they won't like it. So from there, pivot on the back leg and just let him rock towards you. But use the bit of the chest and the upper part of his back. Can you see just at the base of his neck where I'm trying to gap it here? There. And I lock him in. Then the thrust is more there. So it's more of a chest and a bit of an arm opening, but not arms right out. You can stress the shoulders a lot. You can really irritate the shoulder. Early on when I was taught it, I was never taught that way. I remember once where I would do that movement. Yeah, arms behind your neck, again. Yeah, but I'd use the arms as the lever. And I remember doing it, but using the arms. And there was a history of a shoulder problem with this lady, and as I did that, I'm sure I anterior glided it forward. And then she could lift her arm up then, because I think I caused an impingement. Yeah? But more of a positional impingement, so the humeral head was in the wrong place. So then I had to focus on the humeral head movement. It's just a nightmare. Yeah, so now I thought I'll change the techniques, I don't like it. Maybe using your arms to do the leverages. Yeah. it's really asking for trouble.
It's horrible. Isn't it?
Yeah, and I've dislocated my shoulder twice. If you do it on my back, you'll feel like, you know, it's 20 years ago, I'll feel like they'll still want to pop out. Yeah, on the side. Happy to have a go?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, try it. Some of you will